Hello, Walking the Ropes fans. I am Blake, and welcome to the next episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Rampage from Chicago, Illinois. And before I get into the Rampage review, we're going to quickly go down the results for Elevation and Dark of this week. And before that, make sure to check out the Walking the Ropes link tree for all things Walking the Ropes. On Dark Elevation, we had Daniel Garcia defeating Tyler Sullivan. We had Joel. Apologize if I pronounce any of these names incorrectly. Defeats Cal Hero. We had Emi Sakura defeating Ashley Diambos. We had Nyla Rose and Diamante defeating Big Swole and Julia Hart. We had Dante Martin defeating Adam Grace. And Thunder Rosa defeating Laney Luck. Brian Cage defeated Anthony Bowens. Hikaru Shida defeated Heather Reckless. And Sammy Guevara and Fuego del Sol defeated Chaos Project in the main event. For Dark, we had Chris Statlander defeating Selena Gray. Joey Janela defeated Robert Anthony. Emi Sakura defeated Laney Luck. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky defeated GPA and Matt Fitchett. Frankie Kazarian defeated Serpentico. Layla Hirsch defeated Blair Onyx. And 2.0, Matt Lee and Jeff Parker defeated Jason Hotch and Travis Titan. The Bunny defeated Sierra. Ty Conti defeated Heather Reckless, and in the main event, QT Marshall defeated Evil Uno. And finally, for AEW Rampage for this week, we had an opening singles match between Malachi Black versus Big Shotty Lee Johnson. Lee was very hesitant to start at the match. He keeps running around the ring and dodging Malachi, and Black eventually is able to take down Johnson and starts to take control. Black is just slowly taking apart Lee at this point, almost toying with him as he brushes off any attack from Lee. And Lee does make a comeback. He knocks down Black to the outside and hits a tope suicida. And then he also hits a frog splash back in the ring. He goes for a fisherman suplex, it looked like, but Black reversed it and kicks his head off entirely. And I wish I was kidding. It pretty much looked like he kicked his head off. And then Black just takes control and beats on Lee in the corner. And then he goes under the ring, grabs a chair, and just gives it to Johnson, basically telling him to use it. And he stands with his arms open, facing away from Johnson, asking him to hit him. And when Johnson stands, he turns and eats the spinning heel kick from Black for the win. Malachi Black defeats Lee Johnson. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. It was a very good match, and I'm really, really excited to see where Malachi's going from this. And, wouldn't you know, after the match, Dustin Rhodes came out to make the stop on Malachi from doing anything else, because it kind of looked like he was about to beat on him. And after this, we got Dustin Rhodes talking with Mark Henry, and he says that this Wednesday, Malachi will see him coming because he thrives in darkness. For 5 decades, he thrived in darkness. So it looks like Malachi is taking on the natural Dustin Rhodes. I'm so excited. I love seeing Dustin in the ring. He's one of the best to ever do it, and I know some people might disagree with that, but he truly is. We then get Miro making his way to the ring, and he calls out Eddie Kingston. Says Kingston took a charity contract into AEW and says he's not into the charity business, and neither is his God, and says Kingston is only a backboard for Jon Moxley. And then Kingston comes out to the ring, and he says Miro's God is not real to him, and even if he was sent here for you because you're a sinner. And he says his entire arsenal is Miro's weakness. His DDT, his exploder. There was a couple other in there as well. But yeah, pretty much all of Kingston's moves target the neck, and that's Miro's weakness is being dropped on his head. And Miro says he won't make it to All Out. And then Kingston says, "Hey, Redeemer, redeem these nuts." And then just runs into the ring. Miro flees, and Kingston rolls back out of the ring, starts running at Miro, and he hits him with the TNT Championship. Miro tosses Kingston back in the ring. He goes to stomp on Kingston with the title on his face, but Eddie rolls out of the way, and he hits a spinning back fist and a DDT and is able to stand tall over Miro. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be upset if Kingston took the TNT title on Sunday. I would actually be okay with that. It would make a lot of sense. It would give Miro a reason to continue fighting with Kingston, and this looks like it's going to be a fantastic match. Then we get a handicap match between Rebel and Jamie Hayter with Dr. Britt Baker in their corner versus Chris Statlander. And Jamie starts out, they lock up and go back and forth exchanging some blows until Rebel gets involved, and Rebel and Jamie tag in and out and are able to take control of Chris. Chris starts to come back, though, against Rebel and tosses Jamie onto Rebel when she tries to get involved. And then she's using both her opponents to kind of attack here. So she would like toss Jamie into Rebel, or Rebel would be like used as like a backdrop or something like that. And then she got a near fall off of that, and then Chris carries Rebel on her shoulders from in the electric chair position, and then catches Jamie with when Jamie came running at her, and she's able to basically just toss both girls over her shoulders and slam them down. And then she locks in a spider crab lock of some kind, it looked like, for the win on Rebel. She tapped out. Chris Statlander defeats Rebel and Jamie Hayter. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3 out of 5. The finish kind of came out of nowhere, but it was kind of to be expected. If Chris was going to get out of there without getting hurt, she had to do it quickly without Britt getting involved and without Rebel or Jamie really getting a huge advantage. So it made sense that she targeted arguably the weaker of the two opponents. And yeah, exactly. After the match, Red Velvet comes out to stop the beatdown that was about to start on Chris, because a la Shield, they surrounded the ring and were standing there, and we got the save made. We then got a recap of what the Elite did to their opponents on Wednesday, and then we were shown what happened at the press conference between Satoshi Kojima and Jon Moxley. They just brawled. Moxley got pissed off. Classic. We then get Mark Henry interviewing the main event contenders. 2.0 says Garcia is going to break Darby's back tonight. Darby says he's not going to overlook Garcia, but he is going to beat him. The main event match with CM Punk on commentary. Daniel Garcia with 2.0 versus Darby Allin with Sting in his corner. Jericho asks Punk, where's your sports coat? And Punk says that's an old hymn. If you don't know what that reference is to, it is when Punk, Sheamus, Triple H, and Cena did the walkout angle on Raw, and Punk was commentator for that. It was very good. I enjoyed that a lot, and I believe he did commentary later for a while. But that was one of my favorite moments for WWE, and there's been few and far between lately. We then get the match starting out. They start out beating on each other, and Darby just takes it outside quickly and runs at Garcia, who's sitting on the barricade. He moves, and then once Darby kind of gets up, he tosses Darby into the steps after Darby crashed into the barricade. And during all this, Sting is clearing the ringside of 2.0. Good. And then back in the ring, Darby's in control. He tossed Garcia around a little bit and dragged him back outside and smashed his arms into the steps. But Garcia was able to kick the ropes into Darby, and he was able to lock in a submission. Darby does fight out by going up to the top rope and dropping Garcia. That's later. Darby fights out and goes up to the top rope, and Garcia stops him. And hits a superplex, and starts to beat on Darby from here. Garcia then tosses Darby into the barricade again, and he's taunting CM Punk. And Garcia seems to be saying to Punk that you're next, as he's looking on Punk, but he hasn't even beaten Darby yet. And Darby then starts to fight back for a moment, but Garcia tosses him again, and he moves and runs at him, but Garcia catches him in a sleeper. Darby fights out, and he locks it in again. This is when Darby goes up to the top ropes and drops Garcia on his back to break the hold. And then Darby hits the code red, and Punk says he's got to keep an eye out for that. And then Darby pins Garcia with a tie-up for the win. Like I think he's done this before. I think they call it like a figure four pin or something like that. Basically, he just rolled over top of Garcia with the legs tied up and got the pin. It was a really nice finish. I like when quick finishes like that work. Just not when they're overdone. We then get, for my Malteser scale, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a really solid match. I really enjoyed what they did, and I just want to see that match again, all honesty. They were, I would love to see that match again. So I gave that a 4 out of 5. After the match, I gave, the 2.0 starts beating on Darby and Sting, and CM Punk makes his way down to stop Darby. Or to stop them, sorry, and Darby hits a baseball slide and stands face-to-face with CM Punk as Rampage goes off the air. For my overall for the show, I gave it a 3.75. It was a solid show. They did really well. For my segment of the night, it goes to Miro and Eddie. They did amazing in that segment. It really makes you care for the all-out match that's going to be happening. The match of the night goes to the main event. They did amazing. And performers of the night is Darby and Daniel. They did fantastic in the main event. And like I said, I can't wait to see what they do in the future. But unfortunately, that is all for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I will see you in the next one.